All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's up to hope for elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I pretty much want to stay on the same topic that I've been talking about previously, and this is pretty much concerning ex-Christians that become atheists. You know, because Jake pretty much right now is finding out that Christianity is BS. You know, and with that realization, you know, they pretty much are leaving the church in mass numbers, and they're pretty much rejecting the Lord. Okay, they're rejecting the Holy Scriptures. You see, you know, and there's a lot of Jakes out there that are pretty much are getting on their soapbox, so to speak, and I'm speaking great swelling words against the Most High, man. Okay, you know, these guys are individuals that don't have any faith, man. You know, they were not properly rooted in the word of the Most High, man. You know, that's really what it boils down to. Okay, because they have pretty much questions that have not been properly answered or addressed. You see, so again, another case of them pretty much rejecting Christianity. Okay, you know, and pretty much Christianity is very loosely, and I have to really stress the word loosely based on the scriptures. You see, okay, that whole spirit, you know, comes with the whole doctrine. Okay, the spirit of Christianity. Okay, and this is what was pretty much put upon our people, man. You know, and Jake's everyday level of understanding of the Bible is pretty much on a you know Sunday school level, so to speak. Okay, you know, and they've been carrying that Sunday school level of understanding, you know, for centuries, man. You see, okay, but the Lord has set up men. Okay, all right, and we're not going to be removed into a corner anymore. But your eyes are going to see the teachers out there, man. You know, and pretty much this is chiefly for the elect. You know, okay, we understand all men do not have faith, man. You know, and you know, these people don't believe in the Most High, in His Son. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: because of their transgressions and their rebellion, they will truly understand who the devil is, though. Okay, all right. You can reject God, the Most High. Okay, all right, Yahweh. All right, but the Lord is pretty much going to show you who the devil is, man. Okay, and it's going to pretty much come upon our people, man. All right, and we're fastly approaching that time, man. All right, we're seeing the growing sentiment that's against our people, man. Okay, you see, and the Northern Kingdom, you know, you're not excluded from this whole thing, man. Okay, all you tribes pretty much are under the scope, man. Okay, all you tribes are going to be under fire, man. Okay, all right. The scenarios are and the narratives are already being painted. Okay, they're gonna paint all you jakes with a very broad brush, man. Okay, you see, all right. Now, with this individual right here, okay, you know, this guy has pretty much a whole, you know, platform going on here, but I want to play a little bit of what he says, okay, and then we're gonna just get into the scriptures, though, you know, but he pretty much rejects the fact of being black and being a Christian, so to speak, you know. Okay, so without any further ado, let's play a little bit what this individual has to say. All right, pull it up real quick.
Your faith is more. Let me ask you a question. If you are black and a Christian, either you have short-term fucking memory loss and you can't remember anything, or you don't know shit, as in you're ignorant and you're misinformed, you're miseducated, you're indoctrinated, or you just don't give a fuck. You don't care. Your fear and your faith is more important than the group. Those are the only three fucking ways you can be black and a Christian in today's time. Black atheist.
Right? Okay, so now pretty much, man, this is pretty much the sentiment of Jake, man. You know, okay, he's not grasping the concept of you know basically the truth of the Bible, man. You know, okay, you see, and pretty much so-called Christians that are out there, Christianity, they are indoctrinated. Okay, so in a sense, Jake is waking up to the fact that Christianity is BS. Okay, all right, but okay, the truth of the scriptures, man, okay, is pure. Okay, you see, this is what's going to be able to pretty much uh, uh you know pretty much bring you into salvation. Okay, you see. All right, let me start with the scripture real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. Let's go down to verse 20. Okay, the prophet Jeremiah declared this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. And the Lord always called our people foolish, man. Because pretty much, man, okay, they have eyes though, right? But they don't see, man. Okay, they're not looking through a spiritual lens, man. You see, okay, they're not observing the times that we're in. Then pretty much are not understanding the will of the Lord, man. They don't understand His characteristics. Okay, they don't even understand that we're gonna have to be delivered, man, in the time to come, man. And they don't even understand the fashion that the Lord is coming in and what kind of spirit that's gonna be on Him when He does come, man. Okay, they don't understand these basic things, man. You know, okay. Jake is on a very low level when it comes to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Okay, you see, all right, and we're in the time of prophecy, man. But to even try to go back and gotta hold their hand and walk them through, pretty much, all of the lies, Jake is pretty much out there thinking that there was actually an apple, in the Garden of Eden that Eve, and Adam partook have eaten of. You see, the low levelness of it, man. You know, okay. But the elect man's pretty much that's gonna be of a quick understanding, man. At the end of the day, man. Okay, you see, this is why when you do go up and we've seen videos where any group that's in the truth, any one of the groups that's in the truth, go and debate, you realize that these guys disagree on every single talking point, man, of the scriptures, man. Okay, you see, all right. These guys' ears are heavy of hearing, man. All right, they're dull of hearing. You see, right? But the Lord called you a foolish people without understanding, man. The Lord said, verse 22, fear ye not me, saith Yahweh. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual degree, that it cannot pass? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet they do not prevail. Though they roar, yet they do not pass over it. You see? Okay? And we're talking about the Creator, and these people reject that, man. Okay? These people, when you really check it out, man, these people really believe in the pseudoscience, man. That's put out there, man. Okay? And these chicks out here pretty much are giving so-called Esau the too much credit at the end of the day, man. Okay? Because when you check it all out with these atheists, man, everything all circles back around what most of these Edomites out here believe, man. Okay? Most of these Edomites out here are really walking around as atheists, man. They don't have any type of real religious connection. Okay? Some of them even masquerade as being so-called Christians, man. Okay? But they don't really believe in that. You see? Okay? This is all pretty much a ploy in the guise, man. Okay? Okay, these are pretty much the children of Satan, and Jake is pretty much wholeheartedly following them and following this new growing concept, man, of black atheism, man. Okay, this is what a lot of Jakes out there are pretty much are subscribing to, man. You see, okay, right? It says, but this people have a revolting and rebellious heart, man. Okay, their mind is revolting and rebellious, man. Okay, you see, they don't understand um um the reason why they're in the situation that they're in. Us as a people, man. Okay, they don't understand the will of the Lord, man. Okay, they don't understand His judgments, man. You see, okay, right? But at the end of the day, man, these people they're revolted and gone, man. Okay, they're out of their damn mind, man. You see, all right. Let's go to Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. You know, and this is the Most High's controversy with Israel, man. Okay, you Negro Latinos and Native Americans chiefly, man. You know, okay, right? It says, hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Okay, right? Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land, and that's true, man. Okay, you know these people, you know they don't want to hear this word, man. They don't delight in this word, man. Okay, you understand that this word pretty much has a foundation. Okay, it gives you foundation, it gives you structure. Okay, and Jake has been trained up to be everything contrary to that, man. Okay, you see, all right. You know, black culture, man, which has been engineered amongst our people. Okay, when you want to go back, pretty much, you know, you go back 60, 70 years, man. You know, our people did not carry themselves in the fashion that they carry themselves in now, man. Okay, everything goes, man. There's no rules, there's no bars, there's nobody being checked for anything. Okay, you got the young ones are boasting themselves proudly against the old people, man. There's no regard for the older elderly people, man. Okay, you see, all right. A younger person would actually damn near knock down a older person just to get past them, man. Okay, and I've seen it happen many times, man. You know, they're not being taught a right, man. Okay, you know why? It's because of the breaking down of the household for one. Okay, no family structure. Okay, no family nucleus is even present, man. Okay, you see, and pretty much Jake still at the end of the day, they you know in their rebellious heart, they feel like that they have it all together right now, man. Okay, you know they basically rolling with the punches. You know they don't see the pretty much, man, that they're they're sheep being led to the slaughter, man. At the end of the day, man. Okay, because all they are taught, you know, and the consensus that a lot of these jakes are coming to, you know, is to pretty much separate themselves from their power, man. Okay, and that's a very detrimental, you know, situation to be in these last days, man. You know, okay, all right, because there's no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of the Most High in the land, right? By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood, man. And first two pretty much is black culture. Okay, when you sum it up, man. Okay, all right. You know, nobody's for truth. You know, okay. Pretty much, you know, killing and stealing and adultery is rampant. Okay, even when you want to speak about within these Christianity churches, man. Okay, adultery is a thing, man. You see, it's lucky, you know, and blood touches blood, man. Pretty much, man. You know, violence against our own people, man. You see, okay, we are our worst enemy, man. Okay, you see, all right, and here it is. You know, the doors of repentance are here, you know, and people are not taking heed, man. You know, you see, but they want to partake in engineer black culture, man. okay, which has been engineered to you, man. You know, they've taken on the spirit of really the spirit of Cain, man, on a low level. You see, okay. You know, this the Esau who they following, wholeheartedly follow at the end of the day, okay, because that's who they really look up to. These atheists, okay, they'll give more homage to science, man, okay, than to Yahweh Shai, man. You see, okay, right. So it says, therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away, man. So death and famine is really coming to the people, man. Okay, you see, all right. These evils are coming to a neighborhood near you, man. All right, you see, okay, because you got to understand, okay, what the will of the Lord is, man. Okay, and what His purpose is, man. All right, let's get that real quick, man. Let's get on Ezekiel 21. Okay, and let's start at verse 9. Right, the prophet Ezekiel, son of man, prophesy and say, thus say Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Right, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it might glitter. Should we then make mirth? It condemneth the rod of my son as a retreat, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. Okay, so this sword is being furbished, okay, and sharpened, okay, all right, and it's going to be handled, right, it says, right, and it shall be given, and he shall be given it to be furbished, that it shall be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, to give it into the hand of the slayer. Okay? All right? So our people, man, being rebellious, man, they're going to understand who that slayer is, man. Who has the power of the sword in the earth, man. Okay? This man pretty much understands who you are, okay? And he has to do something about it, man, because he knows that he has but a short time, man. Okay? So he's going to have to do his what he was ordained to do, man. Okay? This man was ordained to put his foot on your neck, man. Okay? All right? And like I said, only a remnant's going to be able to come out of this, man. Okay? And you're going to need, we're going to need divine intervention at the end of the day, man. Okay? This is what Jake doesn't understand, man. Okay? All right? But that sword right now is being furbished, man. And it's going to be given into the hand of the slayer, man. Okay? You know, what you seeing right now is Jake's being rounded up, man. Okay, all right, and pretty much, man, they're not even really even deporting them, so to speak, man. They're rounding them up and detaining them, man. Okay, all right, they're rounding them up and detaining them. Okay, you see, all right, right. But it says, right, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon that thigh, man. You know, the loins, man. You see? Okay? So the Lord is pretty much bringing a sword, okay, upon his people, man. Okay? And this is for why? Because of rebellion, man. Okay? All right? Rebellion. You see? All right? All right? The Lord said that 2/3 shall be cut off and die, man. Okay? That's a very significant number. You see? And we're seeing people right now, you know,
Let me ask you a question. If I say in Islam,
like this individual here, you know, that pretty much, you know, he's pretty much, you know, showing his ass, man. You know, these individuals actually have platforms, man. Look at him. He got the professional microphone and you know, he has a whole page where he boasts himself against the Most High, man. You see? And he looked like he used to be a ex, you know, choir boy, man. Christian boy, man. You know? Okay? He gives off that you know, that boys to men spirit, man. Okay? You know, with the sweater, you know, he Christian boy, man. Okay? but he's realizing that it's BS, man. Okay, because right now they're asking questions and see, the pastors don't even have any answers for them, man. Okay, all right. If you're not there was even instances where you had big time donors, man, that were pretty much shunned of the preacher, man. Okay, the preacher didn't really know he was a big donor. He just thought he was just some regular, parishioner at the church, and he pretty much, man, brushed them off, man. Okay, all right. This thing is what you people are in those haunted houses, man. That's a business, man. Okay, that's an actual real business, man. You see, all right. And Jake pretty much gets offended one way or the other, man. They get offended one way or the other, man. That saying that everybody's saying now is that easily offended, but ashamed of nothing, man. Okay, that's our people, man. You see, okay, and they supposed to really think that somebody's supposed to give a rat's ass about them when they look at how they act, man. Okay, it's not gonna be no mercy upon you people, man. Okay, because right now everybody's getting tired of Jake, man. Okay, all right. The brother pretty much did a lesson speaking about black fatigue, man. Okay, that's a real thing. Okay, you see, all right, and pretty much, hey, that black fatigue, man, is pretty much in the minds of our own people. Okay, that see it, that have a righteous spirit. We see it. Okay, all right, and more chiefly, the other nations are seeing it, man. Okay, so right now, through the power of the media, you're having a growing resentment against you tribes, man. Okay, all right, against you tribes. All right, here it is. You're causing terror in the streets. Okay, you're downgrading the quality of life for them. Okay, this is what they're saying. Okay, and then you want to cry and beg for everything and expect everybody to treat you on an even playing field, man. Okay, you see, when nobody really doesn't want anything to do with you, man. Okay, who's gonna pity for you, man? Who asks how you are doing, how you do it, man? You see, okay, nobody's checking for Jake, man. Okay, all right. People want to be far away from you people as possibly as they could, man. As far as what their money can take them, man. Okay, you see, you got a lot of these other nations, man. They can't get too far away from you, man. It's because of whatever financial situation that they're in, And Jake is constantly trying to move into these other neighborhoods when they get a little money, but to tell you the truth, if these other nations, man, if they had the money that they supposed to, that they want, they would. The first thing they would do is try to get far away from you as they could, man. Okay, but as here in Jeremiah, 15, because Jeremiah got tired of preaching to the people, man. Okay, you see, right? Judgment must come, right? It says, this is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Right? Hey, the Lord said, man, I'm going to go and to return to my place. Okay? Till they acknowledge their offense. And he said, in their affliction, they shall seek me early. You see? That's a heavy scripture right there, man. Okay? But it says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus said the Lord, such are for death to death, such are for the sword to the sword, such are to the famine, for the famine to the famine, and such are for the captivity to the captivity. You see? Okay? And these are scenarios that are gonna be played out, okay, during the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? All right? You Jakes out there, you 2/3 out there are going to succumb to what the Lord has ordained for you people, man, in this scripture right here. Okay? You see? All right? One way or the other, man, your judgment's going to come, man. It's going to be according to your works, man. Okay? You see? Right? It says, Slocky real quick. Okay? So it says, right? It says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. You see? Okay? You know? And we've gone through this right here, and we're going to go through this again, man. Okay? You see? You know, what people, and these people, the Christians not understanding that how this affair between us and our power, okay, has always been a love-hate relationship, man. It's all, love at the end of the day, but we were being chastised, man, for our transgressions against the Lord, man. Okay? And the judgment was always death and pretty much captivity, man. Okay? All right? This is a book for slaves, man. Okay? Okay? The Lord said, man, are you a homeborn slave? Speaking about the whole house of Israel, man. Are you a homeborn slave? Why are you spoiled, man? Okay? You see? All right? And you pretty much been from captivity to captivity, man, because of your transgressions, man. You see? Jake is pretty much losing hope real quick and fast, man. Okay? And they're finding some type of comfort, being an atheist at this point, man. Okay? This is how lost Jake is, man. This is how lost Jake is, man. And they pretty much are making flesh their arm. They're trusting in man at the end of the day, man. Okay? But the Lord has something in particular for you people, man. All right? This is on Proverbs chapter 1. Let's go down to right? Wisdom warns, man. All right? This is the time that we're in right now, man. Okay? This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttered her voice in the streets, man. And that's what's happening, man. Wisdom is crying out in the streets right now, man. Okay? Right? She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city she uttered her words, saying, and this is, and you seeing the various camps that are out there, man. Okay? You see? In the chief places of concourse, man. Okay? Where people do commerce and business, man. Okay? In front of stores, in front of businesses, man. Okay? Where you're going to have people that have some type of moderate type of foot traffic, man. Okay? Even with car traffic, man. Okay? The people see us out there, man. Okay? Right? But the wisdom crieth in the streets and in the chief places of concourse, man. Okay? Right? In the opening of the gates of the cities. Right? And it's saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And Jake is simple and they love simplicity, man. Jake can easily get complacent with folly, man. Okay? You see? Happy-go-lucky Jake, man, is what I like to call him, man. Okay? And you could tell just by looking at Jake, when you go into the hoods and the ghettos and look at Jake and you driving through and you just looking at Jake, man, they just look like they're just walking aimlessly. They going as the wind blows, man. They're just walking about with no sense of purpose, no sense of type of urgency for anything, Okay? That's Jake for you, man. Okay? Lost sheep, man. Truly. Okay? But it says, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? Okay? And what the individual, that so-called black atheist, man, he was talking simplicity, man. Right? And scorners delight in their scorning. These guys get on here and they get a little platform, man. They get the professional microphone, they get the little chair with the desk, and they spew this madness, man. Okay? You see? They get up on their soapbox, man. Okay? And they delight in that scorning, man. Right? Okay? Right? Let's take simple definition of a scorner, man. Right? A person who expresses contempt or disdain for someone or something. And that's what they do against the Most High, man. These people are boasting themselves proudly against the Most High, man. Okay? This is this man's soapbox right here, man. Okay? See the professional microphone he got, and pretty much, man, he has a following on this, man. Okay? He has a great following on this, man. You see? Okay? Right? Getting back, it says, right? That fools hate knowledge. Okay? So he's a damn fool, man. Okay? Because they'll reject anything that's coming out of the scriptures, man. And that's through the defilement and the failure of Christianity, man. Okay? Again, they throwing the baby out with the bathwater, man. Okay? You know, they reject Christianity, and now they're rejecting the Holy Scriptures, man. Okay? And I gotta keep on stressing that word, man. Christianity is very, very, very loosely based on the scriptures, man. Okay? You know? All right? You know, listen, the scriptures don't have anything to do with any type of religion, man. Okay? And this is the stumbling block for these people, man. You know? Right? It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you and make my words known unto you. Okay? That's for the elect right now, man. Okay? Right? But back to you 2/3, verse 24. Because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Okay? And he does that through the prophets, man. He does that to the men that you see out there on the highways and hedges, man. Okay? You see? But Jake does not perceive. Okay? Because they're looking at them. They're looking at the outward appearance, man. You know, oh, you just a nigga like me. Why should I listen to you? You see? Okay? That's basically the sentiment that they have, man. You know? And really, when the scriptures are coming out, man, you know, the scriptures are cutting them deep, man. Okay? Condemning them, man. Okay? They know they ain't right. You see? Right? But it says, right? But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof, man. So you reject the prophets, man. Okay? You see? All right? Talk shit and you know, and basically you go about your way, man. Okay? You see? These people are fully set to do evil, man, because no judgment has been rendered, man. You see? Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, man. Okay? And the Lord is a man of terror, man. Okay? So he knows how to bring your worst fears upon you, man. Okay? And make you succumb to these type of situational circumstances, man. You see? Okay? The Lord said, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, man. Okay? You see? And this is not taught in the church. You see what I'm saying? Okay? So the people that's coming out of Christianity and really going straight to atheists, man, you know, they you know, they went from bad to worse, really, at the end of the day. You know? Okay? You know? They rejected everything, man. But the Lord said, man, he will laugh at your calamity, man. They don't even understand the characteristics of the Lord, man. Okay? You see? It says, right? When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they will not find me. You see that? So the Lord is going to turn his face, man. Okay? And that's pretty much when the doors of repentance are closed, man. You see? Okay? The Lord is waiting for that number, man. Okay? Then destruction's coming, man. Okay? For that they have hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, man. They didn't they did not choose the fear of the Lord, man. Okay? That's the beginning of wisdom right there. But when you have people that are pretty much are full of darkness and boasting great things against the Most High, okay, you see, all right, you see, they pretty much, you know, they don't fear the Lord, man, okay, you know, but pretty much, man, you know, I'm gonna end it there. But yeah, I'm gonna probably be bringing out a lot more of this, man, because this is really like a growing trend, man. And you know, these people be saying some off the wall stuff. You know, the comment board is even worse, man. You know, and people are going back and forth, and it's ugly, man. You know, and for the most part, man, it's nothing but a bunch of jakes, you know, that think they know something on the comment boards, man. Okay, and really, it's really a bunch of Christians versus a bunch of atheists that's on that comment board that's going back and forth with each other. You see? Okay? You know? But this is not the true knowledge of the Most High at the end of the day, man. You know? You see? All right, so pretty much I'm going to end it right there, and I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Shalom.